she teaches different step classes, so she was going to be running late. So I'm like, I got to get there early so I can get us a good spot. So we had a pretty good spot. We were far away from the stage, so the noise wouldn't be that bad. But we were close enough to the food trucks because I'm greedy. So, and it was just a beautiful day. Like, you saw families there. You saw kids on, like, scooters and, you know, and it was beautiful. Music was playing, and it was just a really dope vibe.
Yes. This was my first Juneteenth. I've never attended one before. So for this to happen at the end was pretty kind of devastating, I guess. But like she said, it was an awesome day. I wanted to go. I think I dragged you there, maybe. Did I suggest us go?
You probably did. Yeah. You're always wanting to go somewhere, and I just go.
But it was such a beautiful day, awesome view. It was just a great
the
day.
heat was bad, but the vibe was cool.
Yeah. And so tell me about the moments when it happened. Were y'all watching the music? Where exactly were y'all going
Okay, I can tell you from my perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, Paul Wall had just gone off, and the DJ came on, was hyping up the crowd to get ready for Lloyd. And Tish was like, because I was like dozing off too a little bit, because I've been there all day. She's like, are you ready? And I'm ready when you are. And I said, yeah, that's cool, you know. And I started like emptying my cooler and packing my stuff, but not moving very fast. And then all of a sudden, I just hit the ground immediately. And Tish was a little disoriented, and I said, get on the ground.
Yeah.
Get on the ground. And she was like, okay, you know, and we were just trying to wait. And people were, it was an odd mix because people were up dancing, other people were grabbing their kids and running, other people were on the ground with us. The DJ, he was kind of like playing music, and then he stopped, and he played again, and people were getting frustrated, like, because you don't know what's going on at that moment. You don't know if somebody's walking around and actually doing this. You don't know if it's coming towards you. You don't know. And I'm just like, okay, we're on the ground and just trying to pay attention, situational awareness. Then, like, things kind of calmed down. I said, okay, we're ready to go. Let's go. I packed up my stuff. She packed up her stuff. We started leaving. And people were still kind of in disbelief, like, oh, those were firecrackers. Other people were like, no, I said, no, that was an automatic weapon discharged. And when we were leaving out, I remember seeing like more and more cop cars coming, ambulance. As I saw some people were getting, I just didn't want to look. I just didn't want to look because where we were parked, we were pretty close to everything. And helicopters, ambulance, more cops running with rifles through the crowd. They were actively looking for somebody. I'm just like, just got to get out of here. Got to my car, and it was gridlock. No one could go anywhere.
I was frustrated. I couldn't get out of that place fast enough, but yeah.
Yeah. What were y'all's thoughts when you're laying there on the ground, just don't know what's going on? What's running through your head at that exact moment?
This is gonna sound crazy. I was thinking Squid Game.
Wow.
You know, because if anybody's watched Squid Game, you know that part where they're running and then like they fall down and they can't, as soon as they move, you know, and I was just like thinking like, wow, I don't know if somebody's just walking through and shooting people. I don't know if this is just like an intermission. I don't know. But I was calm. I was ready to move and do whatever I needed to do to survive. I wasn't panicked. I was really clear and focused.
That's interesting. I don't know how I would be. What about you? What was running through your mind at that moment?
I was kind of like in disbelief that this was actually happening. We were on the ground, but I was still like trying to look because there are kids behind us and parents that they didn't move at all.
They were dancing.
Well, some of them were still seated when I was looking, and it was just in disbelief because I'm actually from D.C. area, so I know what gunshots sound like. So it was just unbelievable that I was actually in this thing
in a situation
happening.
You don't think it's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm sure y'all didn't think this would happen at an exciting, fun celebration.
No, and they've not had problems before, not that I know of. And the last time I'd gone was pre-COVID, and it was dope, you know. So, and the music was amazing, you know, and for this to just happen, it just life is, you never know, you just never know.
And y'all were saying you never expected something like this to be in this
Absolutely
situation.
no.
Tell me about that.
Well, because everybody was just getting along, and you saw not only black people, you saw white folks, you saw Hispanics, you saw little kids, you saw elderly people, you saw all kind of people, and it was just a really dope vibe. I mean, people were like line dancing and eating, having conversations. It was life just all around us, and to be marred with trauma, violence, and death, it's something, you know.
Very devastating, actually, because towards the end of the night, like she said, Paul Wall was still on. I was like 10 minutes before he got off. I was like, I'm ready to go, because it was a lot of folks. I mean,
it was thick.
It was very thick. A lot of folks, and I was like, this is like too many people for me. And so I was like ready to go. I was like, you ready? I was already packed, actually, before I asked her.
And it's good though that we stayed a little bit, because we would have walked right into it. Tish.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
we'd have walked right into it.
Yeah, and I know you hear about so many of these events happening on the news and things, but now y'all have experienced this firsthand. How does that change your perspective on things at all?
You know, you get almost desensitized because it happens so often, but then it hits home and it just reminds you how precious life is and how everything can change in an instant, you know, and just being aware of your surroundings. Still live your life, enjoy your life. Don't let anyone take that away from you with fear, but be mindful. Be mindful. Always have some kind of plan played out in your mind. So if things do hit the fan, you just automatically know what to do.
Yeah. For me, it kind of changed me wanting to go out into crowds like that, because I have grandkids, I have kids, and I just want to be there for them. And like she said, when I got home, I was like so happy to see my dogs. You know.
Yeah, what were y'all's thoughts when, I know it took a long time to get out of that scene, as you're driving out, making your way home for the night, having a second to process it or think about what happened? What do y'all think it meant?
Yeah, well, you know, like I said, when it was going on, I was pretty focused, I was pretty calm. But then once you're away from the danger, and it's like another part of your brain kicks in, it's like, oh my God, wow, I survived something. This is pretty traumatic. And being a trauma therapist, I'm like, I might need to talk to somebody, and that's okay. And I encourage anybody that has experienced it, that saw it. I have friends, we know people that saw it firsthand. What was going on, bodies on the ground. Go see somebody. Don't let this eat you up, because it can.
Yeah. And what about you as you're driving home, getting home?
Basically, I was frustrated because it was gridlock, and finally able to get through because they were directing traffic. I was just felt relief, just sudden relief upon me that it was.
You know, and I gotta commend Round Rock Police, because they were there thick. They were there thick, and I think it probably could have been worse if they weren't there.
Yeah.
You know, because it was so many people.
Yeah, because we were sitting on like the cops there walking. You see one come, here's another one. Then there's a cop on the
like the little
motor thing, and it's
almost like a golf cart kind of thing, four-wheeler.
So they were there.
So there was a lot of police presence, so they were on it like that. So we appreciated that, because I think it could have been worse.
Yeah, I agree.
What did y'all observe about people in the crowd as you're walking away, seeing this happen after? What did you see from people? Emotions, different?
Yeah, I was just observing people where either they looked like kind of like, wow, they were like deer in the headlight, like kind of like, wow, did this really happen? Some people were crying. Some people just looked angry and anxious, just wanting to get out of there. That's what I observed.
Well, when we were on the ground, I saw someone fall and they really hurt themselves. But when we were actually able to get up and move, I actually saw a friend of ours, and she was trying to convince us it was just fireworks. I was like, no, it was not fireworks.
Yeah.
Not fireworks at all.
And she was like heading
back
back
towards, and we're trying to leave. She's heading there. I'm like, we're leaving.
Yeah, we're leaving. Like, that was an automatic weapon discharged.
Gosh, and tell me about, you're saying it's so important to always have a plan in these situations, just to know what to do, and you never think you're going to be in something like this.
Yeah.
Tell me about how important that is.
Well, like I said on my TikTok, is that I did some active shooter training with an old job, and it was so valuable. And what stuck with me is that the trainer said, no matter where you are, always look for the exits. Run in your mind an action plan, a safety plan. So, and go through that several times. So if something goes down, your brain will default right to that. So you're not sitting around like, what am I going to do? You know, so it's always important to do that.
Yeah, and we actually had active shooter training at work also, so it was helpful.
Yeah. Is that upsetting that that's something we have to think about in our world, in our day and age now?
I mean, it's a sign of the times. I mean, it is what it is. You just have to adapt, and you have to protect yourself and your family the best way you can, but still do not let it stop you from living your life.
Yeah. How do y'all think this will affect you going forward? Do you anticipate this, something that you think about and remember for the future?
Definitely. I wouldn't say I wouldn't go again. It may take a while for me to go again, but I would be actually making sure of my surroundings, and when I'm ready to go, maybe before I'm ready to go before I'm ready to go.
Even early.
Right?
That's bad.
Right?
Yeah.
With me, because that's my line of work is trauma, I know it's there, it's not going anywhere, and I'm going to live my life. I just got to be safe about it and smart about it.
Yeah. You have a good perspective on it, but do you think this will affect you mentally in any way about just, this weighing heavy on your mind? You said you're going to talk to someone.
Well, I'm going to do some self-monitoring, and if I start having bad dreams, if it keeps if I keep playing it over and over like a movie in my head, I know the signs, and I have no problem going to somebody else.
Yeah. Were y'all able to sleep last night? Was that difficult at all, or was it?
I was
relief
able
to get
to.
out of there? Okay.
I was able to sleep.
Okay.
I was able to sleep because I practice gratitude daily, so I was just happy just to be at home and with my little doggies and knowing that my friends were safe, and but I was able to sleep.
I had a little difficulty, but when the phone rang this morning, I woke up and was just grateful that I was able to answer the call.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt moved to even make a TikTok, just to kind of bring, kind of just in a plain speak, say my experience, what happened, and the importance of just planning and having situational awareness.
Yeah. When you think about the ones who didn't make it out of there last night, what does your heart say? How do you feel about that situation? Just thinking about those people and their families that went to celebrate this one event.
Yeah. It's very sad because they just came for a day of celebration and fellowship with like-minded people, and it just turned devastating at the end. It's just sad, very sad.
Yeah, it's you just never know, I'm sure they wasn't thinking about something dangerous could probably happen and I may not come home. I'm going to go and enjoy this, day of celebration. It's sad. It's incredibly sad. And I know they have to feel devastated. And it's you almost feel guilty because, at least I can't speak for you, but it's survivor remorse or something, where it's I feel grateful, but then I feel so overwhelmingly sad because people didn't have to lose their lives. Children didn't have to get, shot.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how you felt. I even feel sad not even being there, but just that this happened, that it was there.
Yeah.
Anything else y'all want? I know it's a heavy topic, but anything else y'all wanted to add or say about this, and just how you're feeling today, going forward about the situation? Anything else?
Well, I just think everybody that was witness to this or have any kind of feeling about it that was there, it's okay to go get help. It's okay to talk to somebody too, because trauma can do a number of things on you mentally and physically, your relationships around you, if it's left untreated. So
Maybe not you, but someone else.
not me.
You've got enough on your plate. Maybe someone else.
Yeah, I'll say just love your people, be blessed, and kiss your family and your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, has this situation made you all more appreciative of family and friends and people that you love?
Well, like I said, I practice gratitude daily, but even more so because we were able to walk away.
Yeah, I agree.